the most, they're the ones that are going to be able to bring that to the congressperson and bring the issues to be solved. Constituent service is the most important thing. I have to tell you that one of the reasons I got into this race was I got a phone call from Richard Hanna when I was thinking about this, that I'd never met him. And that's one of the things that he said to me. He said, if you run and you win, and he said, and I think you can win, he said, it's not a job you'll ever regret because you have the ability and the power to help the individual people in your constituent. And that makes all the difference in the world. That's why I would do this, and I know I would do a good job because that would be first and foremost in my mind.
All right, we'll wrap up this evening with our closing statements. This is an opportunity for each of the candidates to make their final pitch to the audience. We'll allot 3 minutes per candidate, and we will start based on the random draw earlier with Mr. Banner.
About 100 years ago, my grandfather emigrated from Slovakia to Little Falls, my hometown. And he started working in factories. And then his son, my dad, did the same. My dad worked at Remington and several other factories right here in the Mohawk Valley. And they worked hard so that their children could live the American dream. And I'm really proud that to grow up in that environment and to actually not only get through college, but to have that good fortune, as I mentioned, to start a company, not one that I inherited like my opponents, but one that I built with my wife from the ground up, and then use the experience of what that was like to then help that next generation. Because I'm a firm believer that what makes this country great is the opportunity to not only build something, but as a company grows, it can make a difference in a lot of people's lives. One of the things that I'm most proud of is that our company today is not only public, but when we went public, more than 70 of our people in the company became millionaires. And that for me was a lot of satisfaction. And one of the reasons that I'm really motivated to help others in New York State achieve that same opportunity. Government doesn't create jobs, entrepreneurs do. And I've done a lot of work to help others here in upstate move further down that path, especially in these new industries. If you visit our website at babbittforcongress.com, you'll have a chance to read about some of the people that are providing testimony on how is it a nonprofit can help others create jobs, so that there is a basis for that. And I think when you elect a congressman, you want to think about not just party ideology and kind of pulling the lever on the party that maybe you're registered in, but really think hard about the best candidate. And does the candidate have the mind, the heart, and the soul to really make a difference? And what I mean by that is, you got to have the right mind to sort through all the choices that a congressman would have to make and where to spend time, where it's going to have the biggest impact on the district. You have to have the heart to look at the opportunities, including for people that don't look like you, don't have your same set of circumstances, and have a very different set of needs. And most importantly, you have to have the soul. You have to have the conviction to do what's right, not because some party boss or special interest says this is what you need to do to toe the party line. That's why I'm running as an independent. I can be true to myself, true to the soul, and deliver what you need in having a congressman represent your interests and no one else. That's why I'm running for office. I ask for your vote on November 8th.
All right.
Thank you. I appreciate everybody's time and interest in this race and hearing about who each of us are so that you can make an informed decision. Myself, having been born and raised and worked in a family business to make it a large business, as I said, I know what it takes. As a small business owner myself, I know what it takes. I know from sitting around our kitchen table as a child, knowing that we had to talk about how much money did we pay down on the note this month, knowing the credits necessary for businesses to thrive, knowing that we need to make sure that everybody has a quality education and has the ability to get ahead and to create a good life. I was raised in a family with high values. And I was raised also by my father, who was kind of tough at times. He wouldn't let you get away with anything. One of the things he always told us, and as a matter of fact, we have it painted on the wall in our house for my children to make sure that they understood. And he always said to us, there's no such word as can't. You just have to keep trying, and you just have to keep doing it. And through a lot of trials and tribulations, going through life, many of us did that. And if some of us might say to my dad, oh, or complain, he would then follow it up with, who the heck ever told you it was going to be easy? Life's not easy. You have to do the right thing, you have to show up, you have to plug away, and you never, ever, as my father would tell us all the time, ever forget where you came from. I came from a family that when we were growing up, we didn't have a lot, but we had enough. We had each other, we stuck by each other, we stuck by our community, we served our community, and our community served us. That's what you need in Congress, is somebody who's going to remember that on a day-to-day basis. And I will do that because I live it every single day of my life, whether I show up at the Child Hunger Task Force, whether I show up at a school because a principal has called me and said, we've got a little boy who the only shirt he has is the most disgusting thing in the world, and he's never going to learn his multiplication tables in 3rd grade unless he has some help. That's what you need in Congress, somebody who knows what it's like on a day-to-day basis and will never forget that it's the individual people who make this country great. And it's the individual people who need the help, they need leadership. Leadership isn't just following the crowd. Leadership isn't yielding to the loudest voice or the most popular decision. I've proved that in the legislature, I've proved that in the school board, that you do what's the right thing to do and you have the broad shoulders to take it when some people aren't going to agree with you, because you're never going to please everybody. That's what I will do in Congress, and I would appreciate and respect your vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Finally, Assemblywoman Tennant.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Babinak is right. It is about heart and it's about soul. But it's also about character and it's about courage. And he took a veiled shot at me and said, I didn't inherit my business, but unfortunately for me, I did inherit my New York business. My company didn't leave New York like both of my opponents' companies did, or even started somewhere else. We stayed here and fought the battle. I took over our family business. We were literally pennies away from being in bankruptcy. My father was very ill. He was confined to a wheelchair, and he was going blind. My mother was also sick. They lived across the street. I raised my son as a single mother, trying to run our family business, staying up late at night, making sure I got into all his sporting events and everything else, taking care of our business, begging and begging people to pay on the accounts receivable list. I know what it's like to be a small business owner. And then just when things started to look like we're moving up, you've got the government coming in and forcing more regulations down on our business, whether it was Obamacare, whether it was federal regulations. But I fought the battle, and we were able to sell one division of our business, and we're still surviving today. We don't have the millions that they do. You can go look at my financial form. I don't have the kind of money they have. I've spent probably more money just running for office, just trying to help our small business community. And if you look at our business, it was founded on integrity. We have given literally hundreds of thousands of dollars to every local charity you can think of throughout this district, because it was founded in Hamilton. We've been in business in Herkimer, Oneida, Madison, in Shenango County, and throughout the region. We give everywhere, even when we can barely afford it, but we make sure that whether it's a person dying of leukemia or whoever, was always given a free ad in the newspaper, or the Humane Society, you name it. Numerous organizations had free space in our company's paper, and we gave money out of our own pockets. We don't live a big life, but we stayed here in this community. We stayed here, and I have fought the battle against incredible odds. More money has been spent to smear my good record as a fighter and a courageous person and a person of integrity in this than any other I can think in public office. Millions were spent in 2014. Millions have been spent this year trying to smear me, trying to claim that I'm some kind of person that doesn't show up for work in the state assembly. I have one of the best records in the state assembly. I have a 97% attendance record. The only time I ever missed any votes, which I made up for, by the way, was to care for my dying mother and to attend my son's graduation from the U.S. Naval Academy. And let me tell you, there is no greater honor for a parent, especially a single mother, than to see your son shake hands with the President of the United States and get his commission as a Marine. That was an honor that I would never give up to go vote on a unanimous bill in the state assembly. but I made up those votes. I made those votes up, and I stood here and I fought the battle for this community against the odds. And I will take that same character and courage and commitment to Washington that I brought to Albany, and I won't be afraid. Thank you.
All right, I want to thank the three candidates first of all. It's a long campaign road, as each of them will tell you. And they are asked to do these events probably 3 or 4 a week in all different corners of the market. So for making yourselves available tonight for this crowd, I really appreciate that. I also appreciate the opportunity to moderate this for the Herkimer County Chamber of Commerce, and I appreciate the Chamber for hosting an event like this. I think it does my heart proud to see this auditorium full. The fact that somebody would come up to the college on a very nice night, when it's going to snow probably in a month, to really to hear what's going on with the representative, and the next person will be the representative in Congress. So give yourselves a round of applause as well. I would like to say that the candidates will stay around hopefully for a few more minutes, that if you have any questions that weren't addressed in tonight's debate, that you can get it right from them directly. So again, thank you for attending this evening. John, do you have anything else?
I just want you to know that the Chamber of Commerce worked so hard to put this together. We worked hard to put this together for you, but we also worked very hard for our small business. As you can see, we have the Chamber shaking hands with our small business. We work hard on that. I want a handshake from one of you guys, or all three. One of you is going to be our rep. You shake my hand and tell me you will take care of it. Thank you.